back to Sledheads. Well, this is our first video, but welcome back. Today, we are going to be parting out a 1996 Polaris Indy 440. Now, you may be asking us, why are we parting out a good sled? Well, you come over here, over to this area here, kind of see there's been bolts in here. These rivets are popped out. My fingers go completely underneath that. This is broken. And come up to the front here. And look at the suspension. This sits up way higher than the other side. Over here. So we are concluding that this sled was in an accident. So why not just part it out? Have extra parts of the other sleds. Keep them going. So under the hood here, we got a nice Polaris 440 motor and pipe, air box. Everything's here, complete. I bought this sled for 300 bucks. All it needed was a pickup line and the fuel tank to suck the fuel from the fuel tank to the fuel pump. Come over here, come check out the seat. No rips or tears in the seats anywhere. Just a little cracking down here and
little fading, little fading right here maybe.
Yeah, tiny little hole over here. Other than that, everything's here. This sled down here, the track is kind of messed up. So I'm just gonna do a different track, but my plans is I'm gonna transfer all of the parts on this sled onto a different sled. And we'll make that sled good as new. So the first thing we're gonna be doing is taking the hood off, the side panels, the one's already off. This one's already unbolted, but all you do is just a couple screws and 3 there on the bottom, 1 here, and it just lifts right out. Yep. And then we got to do the hood. We got a couple bolts, kind of hard to see, but you know, there's enough of them to hold it on, nice and safe. And then we'll get in here and start taking some of the stuff off, you know, cover and air box, carburetors. The pipe's pretty easy to get off, but yeah, stick with for the adventure. So right now we are getting the recoil handle out of the shroud here so we can remove this shroud. So what you want to do, it's got really good compression. You just pull the recoil rope out like this. Make sure you do not let it go, otherwise you'll have problems, so to speak. Cut it right here by the handle. Then carefully stick your hand by where it goes in, slowly feed it back into the recoil. And pull the rope out, make sure it's not attached to anything. Now that it's not in that, we go back over to here and get our old piece of rope out and tie it on. So this prevents the rope from getting sucked inside the recoil, so we can use it again after when we're ready to put it back together. All right, so right now we're taking off the first bolt on the hood here to get the hood off. We got quite a ways to go, and the last ones are tricky because you have to hold the hood while loosening it. So we got that to look forward to. All right, the hood is about to come off, so Eli's gonna do the honors and do the last bolt. Yep. Ready? Ready? There you go.
There you go.
Got the hood right here. Kind of big and bulky. It's really light, so that's nice. We're gonna go throw that over here.
Okay, so taking the exhaust off now. So we already got all the springs off. Got 2 here, and then was it 1 down here, I think? That's
one right there, and then there's one far down there.
And it just kind of sits in the boot here.
Them are tough. The springs were rusted onto the pipe, so we ended up beating them.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to record, but it's ready to come out.
It should. We go right out. There we go. Pipes off.
Just like that. Look at all the room we got now. We got all of this room. Access to the motor mounts down there. And we still got to yank the carburetors off and all the lines, the radiator lines, and all that, but that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So
far we're making really good progress for the time we've been at it. So far so good.
yes. Did a little work here. Kind of hard to record and do this, but this is ready to come off. So all we do is pop the bolt out. We already loosened that up, and it should come right off. There we go. And also, it's kind of hard to record, but we had to get the carbs off, kind of tighten there. Pretty much, you just slip the hose here on this and the other carburetor, and there's another one down here you slip off, and then come over here. And these are all the hoses that we took off. And then this is the fuel pump. It's just 2 bolts. But very simple. It's hard to record in the engine bay.
Yep. Which fuel pump goes right there.
Right down here.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty much all we've gotten done. You know, this tedious stuff like getting the wire harness out.
Yep.
You know,
Looking pretty good so far. We made a lot of progress. So.
got a long way to go yet, but good stuff. The seats on these are actually really easy to take out. It's just a little breather hose right there. Just connect the fuel line, 1 wire, and you come to the back underneath. And it's hard to see, but there's a hole there and a hole on the other side here. You just pop them out and you're good to go. Currently, we're just getting everything tied up so we can pull the motor. This is the oil line that goes down to here. I shoved an Allen wrench in here just to keep the oil from spilling out. But so we got that to do, or get that finished up here, and got these coolant lines off and drained. This is just messy, so we can't have the camera around here. But right now, and then if you look underneath here, we got pans and this bucket. This is all the stuff that came out in this bucket. So we also got the seat pulled. Like I said earlier, just a couple bolts.
Yep.
And wire and hose.
Got the back bumper off.
Back bumper off.
That's pretty
Eli
simple.
got that off.
Just 2 bolts on one side and 2 on the other. Pretty simple.
And then a couple screws that cover it. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna be taking off, there's 4 bolts here, 2 in the back, and we got 2 in the front. Kind of hard to see, but. So we'll try that. We're doing a lot of small stuff. Also, I was fighting with the throttle for like a half hour, trying to get the cable to come out of the spot here.
Yeah, it was kind of a pain.
But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Alright, so right now Eli is taking off the oil tank.
Yep.
We already got it buttoned up down here. And then this will give us a lot more room to work with. Because pretty much everything on this is coming off, so.
Yeah, so we take that off and yeah, pretty easy. And this should pop right off now. Yep.
Just like that. Here it is.
It's off.
Nice and full.
Alright.
That's it.
Yep. Okay, so we just loosened these 4 here for the handlebar. It's super loose now. So I'm just gonna finish up by taking them off. It's pretty easy. And you just undo it with your hand. Do the other one. Yeah, and then we turn the bars. You can get to these two right here. There you go.
One more.
And then, okay, it's got.
You got one more.
Yep. That's always got hard to do. There, and then if you take this off. Well, kind of messy, but there's your bars. All off.
That's all it is. And a bunch of wires that are pain to get off.
4 bolts, and there you go. It's off.
So yeah, all we got now is a motor. Alright, so right now we are getting the motor mount out here. In the back, there's 4 total, but this one was kind of tough to get into. We have a breaker bar, but it doesn't fit. So we had to use the ratchet and then what they call a cheater bar that slips over the handle. And then you just keep on going, loosening it up now, but it was pretty hard. So you got little ones to do yet.
Okay, so we got this one off. Now all you gotta do is get this one off here and then in the front. So this time you can actually use an actual breaker bar to do this. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
We're keeping them on a little bit just to keep the motor from moving around. But what we do the front ones. The front ones are tough because you have to get a wrench on the underneath. Front ones, you gotta take a wrench. We got 11/16 here on the bottom, and I believe it was 16 mil on the top. It's kind of weird. They kind of swapped metric and standard on some of those parts on these old Indies, but it's just tight. You have to turn the steering every time too. Right now, we got the bolts pretty much out. Just gotta get them out here now. So that's one completely out. Second one's close. Oh, there you go. Here's the second one.
Okay, so now we're just loosening these because we already got them previously.
I just didn't want the motor to slide forward and have tension on the front bolts because they're stuck to get out then.
Yep.
Need ratcheting wrenches. The ratchet doesn't fit here, otherwise I'd use that.
Yep.
Alright, almost there. I'm kind of scarred working on these bolts because when I was tightening one, I snapped it because the torque wrench didn't click when it was supposed to. So I think there was a chip in the stud or something. Because this is just a nut and there's a stud on the back that this sits on. Here's the one. Here you go, second one, and then we'll lift out the motor. All these hoses are pulling on it too. Alright. Hey, you just pour that all over me, but whatever. Hard part's finding somewhere to grab. There we go.
There we go. Motor's out.
It's out. I only got soaked. It's all good.
Look at that.
Nice and open.
Nice.
See all the stuff that's been lost over the years. We got a bolt here.
A lot of grime.
Tie for the windshield that looks to be broken. Lots of grime.
Look at that though.
Fluid. And pine needles and all sorts of other treasures. Right now, we're getting the skis off. Skis are coming off. The one's already off, but just a bolt and a nut coming off really easy. These skis are in really good condition. Sometimes you gotta use a little force and pry them off. But there you go. That's all. We are attempting to get all of these suspension parts here. You got the sway bar, radius rod, and the control arms. I don't think I got my terminology right. And the shock, and then this big guy is the trailer arm. So we got to get that on both sides, and then they go in here. So we got to get this bolt, and Eli already got where the handlebars go to. So that's already off.
Yep.
You can see we're working on it over here. Not as far, and this bolt right here in the back is always a fun one because it's nice and big. And whenever he's touching that, it moves everything on this end too, so that's always fun. Haven't used the breaker bar on some of these that are harder to get.
We are trying to take the shocks off, which are pains, I guess you could say. I got on this back one here, we got the nut off, but you gotta get the bolt through, and look up there, it's super hard to get out. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but whatever. Alright, so just to prove that it's bent, look at this.
That's not supposed to move one bit, and it's moving about an inch. The sled's on the ground, by the way. So, yeah, that's not good. So right now we got the trailing arm off and bent down because we can't get this bolt out. So we hit it. Not a whole lot happens. The whole shock moves right now though. So. Yeah. So we're just gonna end up cutting that bolt on the one side, but just to show you the other side here, this is how tight the trailing arm is supposed to be. No movement whatsoever. We ended up having to go off cam for getting the shocks out just because they were really pain and it was taking two guys full hands, so we had that going. So that's all out, and we just got into it. We ended up just doing the skid. All that is, holding that on, is just 4 bolts. You know, 2 on the other side.
Yep.
And then come over here. And this is what they call the skid. This is, you know, your suspension in the back. So, looking pretty good. It needs bearings, but overall, it's not bad. The high facts here on the bottom that runs on the track, the black track right here, that's all brand new. So, pretty good. But if you come over here, you can get a better look at the track. We got, you know,
Pretty good ones.
Perspective, it's about the size of 1.5 fingers. Then you come down here, and it's about the size of half a finger. So, that's damage. That's not a good idea to run. The cameraman is tricked. We're good. So, next thing you're going to be doing is just getting some of the stuff on the bottom cleaned up here. And oh, that ain't good. Technical issues. Currently drilling out the rivets for this. Get the sway bar out. I'm having some technical difficulties with the drill, so bear with us. There you go. That's one of them. Well, shoot.
Well, darn.
A little vibrating.
Because my hair is in the way of the flashlight.
Alright, so right now, Eli's trying to get something out of the tunnel here. Rivet. And he's in some sort of yoga pose. He's laughing. He's still laughing.
Okay, but yeah, we're trying to get a rivet out, and we can't really because it's like, it's back in there, and it's being a piece of crap. So.
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it a night with the sled. Well, this side's all done anyway, so.
Yeah.
Sled's all done. Nothing else we need to take off it. Save that chain case until we need it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Anyway,
we got a nice heap of motor. And then we got, here's our parts with some tools mixed in. I think the camera heard that.
alright, well.
That's it for this video.
That's it. So, yeah.
Hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or anything, let us know in the comments because we don't know what we're doing.
Yep. Alright, well, we'll catch you in the next one, I guess. So, see ya.
See you later. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. 2, 1. Ali! My name is Gear. Yo, rank. Yo, RK. Yo, rank. Yo, RK. Yo, hitcher mover. This hitcher mover has some good suspension for rock crawl. See that?
As you take out the pool of antifreeze.
I'm serious though.
Okay,
Okay, stop.
going this way.
Now I gotta drive over it.
Oh. The old Ram would do it.
Maybe.